So who in the family do you think should be the most successful? Is it the firstborn, the secondborn, the middleborns basically, or the lastborn? If you ask me, I'm going to tell you that the lastborn child in the house should be the one who most likely be the most successful, and these are the points I'm going to give it to you. Number one, as somebody who is a lastborn child that I'm a lastborn child, I can tell you that one of the things that we enjoy so much is the fact that we have diverse perspective to life. So for instance, if you're the last child of your family and you have 4 siblings before you, those 4 siblings might have experienced life in 4 different perspectives, and that helps you choose. So that means you can make more informed decisions based on the experiences of your other siblings in your family. It pains me so much when I see firstborn take the whole load that, oh, I'm the firstborn, I'm so responsible, oh my God. That fact of responsibility that the firstborn children usually put on themselves is one of the reasons why most of them end up failing. If you notice, you will notice that in most families, the firstborns are not necessarily the richest, usually the second, third, or fourth born. Because the truth is that most of all these firstborns that are out there, they're trying so much, they're trying their best, but there's usually no roadmap, no blueprint for them to follow. That's one of the reasons why mentorship is very important whenever in anything I'm doing. I take it so seriously and I take it so personal. So as somebody who is a lastborn, you literally have a bunch of mistakes that you can easily avoid during your own time of growing up. So for instance, most of my elderly ones are older than me by 7 years and more. So which means that in fact they have finished a particular grade of school, which means maybe they are done with high school before I get into that place, they're going with university before I get into that place and all that. So what are the odds that I'm going to make mistakes when I get into high school or get into university? They are very small. That's if I decide that I want to learn from their mistakes or from their experiences. In fact, human beings are the only creatures that have the ability to learn from the mistakes of others. You can go ahead and give a chicken corn to eat, and you catch it, you slaughter it, and you put it for the next chicken, and the chicken still comes to eat it again. Like the next one comes to eat it and you slaughter it. So which means that animals do not learn from their mistakes. So if you're the kind of person that you don't learn from other people's mistakes, you need to change your behavior as a human being. Now the second reason why I believe that lastborns are supposed to be rich is the fact that lastborns normally have enhanced social skills, especially when it is a big family. As a lastborn, they normally pamper you, they normally ask you what you want, they normally ask you how you want things to be done, they normally tell you, people just generally want the best for you because you're the last child. In fact, you get what everybody else doesn't get just simply because you're the last child. It's not very true for everybody, but in 99% of the cases, as a last child, you have easy social skills because you have your uncles calling you, you have your friends calling you, there's so many benefits that you get as a last child, which is automatically going to enhance your social skills, especially if you are born to a very large family. In my own family, for instance, my mom is the last one of our family and I'm the last one of my mom. And my mom's family is an extended family. So which means that everybody above me, like they are way older than me. So what that allows me to do is that it gives me a wider scope of experience, a wider scope of people that I can talk to and I can bond with easily. Sometimes when I even make some mistakes, they give me benefit of that, oh, he's still a small boy, or this kind of things. So as a last child, you're supposed to have really good social skills, especially when you come from big family. Now the third reason is that as a lastborn, you have insane risk-taking abilities. I used to tell somebody that when I started making money online, I got scared at some point. I told my aunt, I told her that there's a particular business I want to do and it might take a lot of my money. And this my aunt that I'm telling you about, she's actually my cousin. But just remember what I told you, that based on how old, because she's older than me, a whole lot older than me, I even try to refer to her as my aunt because it doesn't look proper again referring to her as my cousin anymore. All right? So I told her that if anything happens to me in this business, I'm coming to your house to go and stay. And all she said was okay. Now, it was simply because I was small in her eyes. No matter how big I become, I'll still be that small boy that probably maybe she changed his diaper or something like that. So no matter how big I become, I can always go back to those my older cousins, those my older siblings, and look for protection. So which means I can take bigger risks, knowing fully well that I have a safety net that I can always go back or fall back to. So as somebody who is the last one in your family, you should be able to take some kind of risks that normally a firstborn who has nobody to fall back to will not normally take. And you should understand that the more risks you take, the more opportunities you can take on, and the more it is that you are likely to become successful. Now, the fourth reason is that as a last one, you have an independent path. Now, most times when families start out, they usually have a pre-programmed path that they want their children to take. They know that they want the firstborn to probably travel abroad and study this particular thing. They want the secondborn to be a lawyer. They want the thirdborn. But once the parents start getting to fourth, fifth, sixthborn, or even thirdborn, basically, because we're 3 in my family, once they start getting to the thirdborn, they start hitting old age, and they usually don't necessarily have all those demands in them anymore. They will just allow you to take your decisions by yourself, because they are most of the decisions that your parents are going to take are going to be outdated decisions, and they usually take those decisions for the firstborn and the secondborn. But most times, if you think about it, the thirdborn will just be that spoiled child that can do anything he wants. It's not that that child decided to become spoiled, or obviously sometimes the child decides to become spoiled, but most cases it's just that the parents have left that particular period or that particular era where they hold their children with iron hand. So necessarily you have an independence of doing anything you want to do as somebody who arrived the world later than your other sibling. So it helps you choose an independent path. Now the 5th one is access to immediate mentors. One of the best things you can have for yourself is having an older sibling or an older sister or older brother that you can easily call and ask for advice. That thing alone is golden, because you don't actually have to be ashamed of asking some kind of questions when it is your brother or when it is your sister. So you have to put all these things into perspective when you're thinking about some of all these philosophies that I'm bringing to you. So those 5 reasons I'm telling you are the reasons why, if you're a last born watching this video, you owe it to your family to be freaking rich, because you have everything that you need and everything that you want to become successful. You have the roadmap, you have a list of mistakes that you should not make, you have a list of things that you should not do, you have a list of things that you should do. If it happened that probably one of your older siblings are now rich, you have a list of things that you can easily copy and become better as an individual. So I hope you got value from this video. Please make sure you like and subscribe if you've been enjoying the content, and make sure to share with your friends and turn on the notification bell. See you guys in the next video. My fellow last borns, do you think I'm correct in this?